Hey everybody, welcome to Big E's YouTube channel. I'm Big E. Just checking out and see how everybody's doing. Hey, we got some project here today, but first of all, I need some other business that I want to address. There's this coronavirus and everything going on. Everybody's at home, you're locked up, not allowed, supposedly not allowed to go anywhere. So I have my feelings about it. I'm sure you do too. Just be safe out there. Basically, just do the things, washing your hands, cover your mouth when you cough. Don't pick your butt, especially in public. Apparently people found that offensive. I found that out in Aldi. Some lady told me that. My bad. So I stole her toilet paper, headed into my diesel truck and got the F out of there before she caught me. Luckily she only had one leg. But anyway, enough of that. So guys, be careful out there. Alright? We don't know the full extent of this. I've been told this thing is not as bad as the flu, but yet there's a lot of people getting sick for whatever reason. It is what it is. Just do your due diligence on the whole coronavirus and the thing with that. And the social distancing, which I'm not a fan of because I like to hang out, drink beer, and hang with people and bullshit and talk car stuff and race cars, which is another thing. Tracks aren't even open yet, and they're suspending a lot of stuff, and they're delaying the opening of drag racing season for us guys because of the coronavirus, which is kind of good in a way because I kind of got way behind. I would say about like 6 weeks behind on shit to do with the shithawk. We wanted to bring the turd in here, get the new shifter in, the new set of spark plugs in the turd, so that way that's ready to go to the drag strip. But with everything going on, I'm way behind. We got the shifter about 3 weeks ago in for the turd. I still have to get spark plugs for it, but at least we could have got the shifter in. But now, with all this going on, I'm having a little trouble getting parts, blah, 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 blah. So, we have the shifter for the turd. So, that is here. That's going to happen in an upcoming video. We're going to show installation of the right shifter. The shifter that's in the turd now is a forward pattern. We needed a reverse, so we plasma cut the plate, and it kind of made it work. And then stuff went out of cattywampus, and last year's drag race season was just not a total disaster. We learned a lot, but I would say a good 85% of the problems we were having last year were because of the shifter. So we have a reverse pattern shifter for reverse pattern valve body. So I'm going to tear it all apart, put this new shifter in, realign everything. We should be good to go. We found some problems, some tune-up issues with the 383, got those solved, so we should be running mid-11s with the turd, hopefully when racing resumes at some point. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with this. So today, again, it's another project for the shithawk. I mentioned, I think in one of my previous videos, it was shortly after we put the pressure regulator on the shithawk, that we were going to go to a smaller carburetor. Ran the numbers on the carburetor that are on it. It's a 780 CFM carburetor that's supposedly a numbers matching for like a 69 Camaro with a 396. Shithawk has a stock 350 and its stock cam, blah, 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 blah. Why you would have a 780 on there, that's way too much. So what I did was I located a donor Holley carburetor. It is this bad boy right here. Okay, it's a list. It's an 1850-2 carburetor. So it is a 600 CFM with a manual choke. So I got it for like a song and dance. Guy said it needed a rebuild. I checked it. All the pieces and parts are there. I checked a couple other things, so it's all good. So it should only need a rebuild, I'm hoping. And so I bought a rebuild kit from my favorite place, Amazon. It's the savings place. It's like Kmart when I was a kid. But anyway, so I got it from there. Dealt with the whole rigmarole, I guess, because it's not latex gloves and it's not a face mask. I had to wait forever and a day to get the darn thing, but it's here. It arrived. So here it is. It's a Walker, part number 159 064. Hopefully you can see that part number. If you have this series of carburetor and it's a Holley, this carburetor should work, I think, on all Holleys, but this one they listed, it was a 1850-2 series carburetor, 600 CFM, vacuum secondaries, manual choke, single feed inline, which is enough for the street. Because obviously the 780, I don't see me using that with driving it on the street with the way traffic is and other things. I just don't see me running that thing wide open throttle for more than a couple seconds. So, and plus it's just too much fuel. I mean, most likely that gas, or if I would take the dipstick out and hold a match to it, it'd probably light right up because it's probably washing the cylinder down. So that's another concern that I had with the carburation that's on it. So anyway, without any more further bullshit, this will probably be a 2-part series. Today I'm just gonna tear it apart and look at some things, inspect some parts, and see what all it is, clean it up, and probably the next video we're actually gonna assemble it with the new pieces parts from this kit here. As you can see, we got gaskets and power valves and everything else in there. So also work with me a little bit. I'm trying something new, a new camera, blah blah blah. So hopefully everything works out and the video turns out all right. So I'm going to adjust the camera, so all you're going to see are my hands and the carburetor. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do my best here. So let me take it down here to where the carburetor is. Hopefully you can see that. So now what we're going to do, first thing I would do is look this thing over. Okay, check your linkages, like this is your power boost valve here, and look where it is. It's underneath where this bolt head is. So when you take this bowl off and you take this off, make sure, make note of that for when you reassemble it, that you get that at the right spot. Not that it's up here or it's somewhere back in here. Make sure it is on that bolt head. Okay, so make note of that. Make note of any linkages and any adjustments, like right here. There's adjustment screw here. There's a linkage there, so you want to take note of that, because we're going to be tearing this. It's going to be basically in 4 pieces by the time we're done here today. Also check over here for anything here. Here's your manual choke. You see, you move that and it's going to move your choke. So manual choke, check all this stuff. We're probably going to have, looks like we're going to have to maybe we'll pull that clamp off when we take the bottom off. So anyway, make note of certain stuff, of where it is, how it's adjusted, the orientation of it is. Now we're going to go ahead and start tearing this thing apart. So first thing I want to do is before we do that, these shafts where your butterflies are going to bolt to, try rocking them. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here. Make sure there's no fore and aft movement, because that can cause your butterflies not to close right or get hung up. Okay, so make sure that there's no play in there. That has a little bit, but that's not bad. It's hardly measurable. So, and it could be too, it's just that's the primer. So anyway, when you decide that that's okay and you can live with that, the next thing you want to do is take these 6 screws out. So that's what we're going to do next, is take these out. Now, I did go over the screws. They're not tight. I should say not tight. I should say they're not really cranked down. Okay, everything. So that's something to keep in mind when you go ahead and put the carburetor back together, is that you don't need to be cranking down on this thing like your Godzilla or Lou Ferrigno. You just need to do enough to crush the gasket. So let's take this apart. I have to warn you guys, might take me a little longer. To be perfectly honest, I haven't rebuilt a carburetor since I was in high school in shop class. I'm 46 now, so you do the math, so you can figure out it's been a while. So I had to read a book or two to kind of freshen up a little bit on that. So just bear with me. So I'm trying my best with my workbench to keep everything kind of on the up and up. So now we're going to look here and see what's all up with this. This should, if I know what I'm doing, which I'm not claiming I know everything, this should pop loose. So there we go. Now we have it loose. Now we have to look to see, are there any linkages? Yes. So what you want to do is be ever so carefully, which this could be my Achilles heel right now. What you're going to need to do is probably find like a hook like that, and see if you can get in there and pull that off like that, so we can pop that off. Now, so this all comes, and as you can see, there's a gasket there. Here's what actuates your power valve for when you dump the throttle. So we're going to keep the gasket there for now, simply for reference, so we can match the gaskets up that we need. But it's kind of crusty. We're going to clean that up. But it's actually not bad. I'm still trying to feel play. And yeah, there's some there, but it's not, I can live with that. It's not a race car, it's a street car. That's not bad. So what I'm going to do is put that stuff there. Now, at this point you can see all the way through. Okay, there's no butterflies. Ew, looks like I got some freaking crustaceous organisms in there. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do, that we have the bottom off, is you're going to want to I'm going to take the fuel. What you have here is, now you have your two fuel bowls and you have your metering block in there. So I'm going to take this apart. So I'll turn these screws out, bolts, whatever. I think screws, because I have to use a screwdriver, but it's really bolts. So we'll take these off. I'm actually quite surprised. I think this carburetor came up as like a mid to late 80s carburetor. And I have to say, I am quite surprised at the fact how well things came loose. Like, I didn't have to like gouge any heads on any bolts, or from trying to power torque it by hand to get it apart. So those are the three there. Now we're gonna have to see if we can, that might not come off because this is tight, and you have the fuel line that's might be holding. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take the bolts off on this side as well, and hopefully we can get these fuel bowls off and start getting into where the gunk and stuff might be that we're going to need to clean out, so that way we can get this thing working as good as possible. Okay, so now I'm gonna try tapping this again. Okay, so we're having an issue here with getting this apart. There we go. So basically we're gonna, so that's gonna be for that side. Got some fun stuff here, looks like. And then we're going to have, and let's just take a gander in there. Well, I was expecting worse. And there's your fuel line for the 2 bowls. So we'll put that one there. And then we got this one here. And this one's actually, I mean, it's got some crustaceous material, but for how old it is, it's not too bad. So we're going to set that over here. We're also going to take this gasket off. I mean, I would imagine it's okay if it breaks because you have the kit, but I just want to try not to break it, so that way we have a reference for the kit. So you have all your other pieces, parts, and gumped up here a little bit. I'm wondering if this thing was rebuilt once already because the gaskets are blue, and that's something we'll have to see as we go here. So we got this is the metering block side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and turn these out, and we're going to have a look-see. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to put those over here for now. Probably can't see because the carburetor's in the way, but I'm just trying to keep everything together. And you can smell it's some bad gas residue there. So we'll clean these up with some carburetor cleaner. So now what we'll do is, now we just have to take, what I'm going to do next is we're going to check, I want to check these out, these mixture screws. These are your idle mixture screws. I'm going to take them all the way out because there's an O-ring in there that needs to be replaced, but I'll show you another reason why. A lot of guys, and this isn't just on carburetors, these idle mixture screws, they're meant to be turned in, and this here part, I don't know if you see that point. If you see that point, it's supposed to be sharp like a pencil, even sharper, because the whole thing with that is supposed to fit into this into the seat, and that's what's going to meter your fuel, and that is how minute of amount of fuel that needs to be. That point needs to be there. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll bolt tighten that screw, and it'll smash, and it'll actually put a flat end on it. Well, now it's not going to fit into the seat to give you a nice seal, to give you good metering, and the car is going to idle rough. So you don't need to bolt tighten these things. The other thing I'm going to check too is if there's any, take your fingernail and run it along and spin it, and if you feel any kind of ridge, anything that isn't smooth, that one feels smooth. So I'm worried about losing this. I see what I'm supposed to replace, but I'm going to put this in there for now, so that way I don't lose it, and I'll take it back apart when I'm ready to do that part. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just put it in a little bit, not all the way obviously. And if I forget to tell you guys, when you set this thing up, when you put it back together, the baseline adjustment is a turn and a half out. So what you want to do is turn that mixture screw all the way in, and then go a turn and a half out, and that should be enough to get your car started. So we'll pull this one out. And I'm losing space here, so you already guys know what this is, so we'll get that the hell out of here. Alright, so here's the needle from the other side. We'll do the same thing. And I don't feel anything on there. That feels nice and smooth, and they're nice and sharp. I don't see any kind of a flat mark on those needles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that back in. And what's important to note is if you do have needles that are flattened or in any way, shape, or form damaged, you're going to have to order them separate from the rebuild kit. They do not come in the rebuild kit. I think they come in a master rebuild kit, but don't quote me on that. So what we're going to do now, we have that out and that out, and we have the metering block here. Now we're going to check the other side. Again, that's crustaceous stuff going on in there. So not quite sure about this yet, so I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna take this off next, the actual vacuum. We'll take that off. I'm gonna start putting this stuff together because I'm starting to get a little nervous. Like I said, I haven't done this in a while, and I really don't want to be having stuff screwed up and then have an issue with that. So we'll put that there. There's a screw in there. I probably should have taken, is that, hopefully that's it then for that. I don't know. There's a screw back there. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing now, I have to actually take the manual choke assembly off of the carburetor, so that way I can access the pump. So again, like I said, I apologize guys, I haven't done one of these in years, so I'm kind of learning myself as we speak. But I want to try, and if you have a carburetor you're looking to redo, or if you just want to try and maybe you can learn from stuff I do wrong, or just a little bit of research I did, maybe you can learn something today. I hope this helps. You know, if anything, hopefully it helps. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I don't lose, I'm going to put those inside here so I don't lose them. Now, so there's your whole choke assembly deal. Now I can get to the last screw for this. Okay, so now we have that off, and inside here is a diaphragm that comes in the kit that we're going to replace, and I'm pretty sure that it's probably going to have a hole in it, or it's going to be dry rotted or something. It's so old it has to, and it'd probably be an issue with opening when you hit the loud pedal. This is what opened. I'm pretty sure this is what opens up your other two barrels to give you the 4 barrels, and if this leaks it's going to either be slow or not open at all. So we'll set that to the side as well and put that with that. Okay, so now with everything said and done, we got our basic carburetor deal here. We checked our needle valves. We're going to clean some stuff up. I'm going to check out here yet because I know these come out. I'm going to work on that. I know that power valve, whatever's in there, I know that comes out. And they say because of the choke, it's a real pain in the butt. I'm going to see what comes out of there, because I'm sure it's gunked up. And I'm going to cheat. I have a magnet I'm going to stick down in there. At least I thought it was. Hey, got it. Okay, so this looks like a special bolt. Want to make note to self, do not lose that. So we're going to set that here. So what it looks like to me, alright, so this is where the fuel comes up, I think, because here looks like a valve that's in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I can't really tell with this camera at this angle, but that's the seat that was in there. This looks like some sort of crush gasket, and that probably goes on here. So that goes there. And then this is your actual, it looks to me like this is where the fuel comes up and what sprays into your barrels. So let's note to self, let's not lose that, because that would just thoroughly suck. Actually, I'm wrong with that one crush gasket. That does not go on this side, that goes on the bottom side of this. Try not to lose it. Okay, so that's going to go inside the cup like such. So we're going to put that there, and that valve, or this needle valve, I'm going to put in there for now, because I just have a feeling that if I don't, I'm going to lose it. So that's all apart. So basically now I'm going to start doing some cleanup work, and I'm going to see what else I can dive into on this carburetor rebuild. I'm going to go ahead and clean it with carburetor cleaner. I don't have an actual carb cleaning machine where it agitates and all that. Again, this is kind of geared towards the backyard guy who doesn't have all that fancy stuff. As you can see, I'm working on like a half area of a single bay garage doing this crap. So I don't have that stuff. I'm going to clean this up. I have like 3 aerosol cans of carburetor cleaner. That's what I'm going to use. I got the rebuild kit. We have it apart. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean it all up real good. Hopefully the next video we'll get it back together. And then eventually, I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do a part 3 where I actually put it on the car. I am, however, for sure going to do a video where we put new plugs in the shithawk. We have the carburetor and the choke on. I'm going to do a video on how to set up the choke. I know I don't have electric choke, it's manual choke, but it's basically the same principle, and I'll explain the difference in the application. As to manual choke, obviously you do it by hand, where electric choke uses a bimetal spring with ignition voltage to move that spring inside it's a round housing, and there's a way to adjust that even, and that I can explain. I can't show it because I don't have one to show you, but I can explain it when I'm setting up the manual choke. So anyway, that's all for today. I'm actually going to go ahead and start cleaning this up now, and hopefully I can have tomorrow, I'll have a video of me actually assembling everything back together on the carburetor. And if the weather cooperates, it got cold here in Pennsylvania, so hopefully can soon do that and then get everything all running real good on this shithawk. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you could do me a huge favor, like and subscribe. I'm not working right now. I need to get monetized, guys. Please subscribe. I only need 945 more subscribers. I mean, hell. Anyway, please subscribe. Please like. If you have any ideas, or if you have a better way of doing this, can you leave it in the comments to help me out? I'm really not... I don't want any haters in the comments, because I know this is not the only way to do it. This is just kind of the way I'm kind of fumbling my way through this one, because I'm learning as I'm doing it. But it's kind of what I read up on. If you know a better way, or if you know a trick or anything, please leave it in the comments. Or if you have any ideas for any upcoming stuff, leave it in the comments. Again, like, subscribe. I'm working on that Facebook page. I'm really not using the one that's up. I'm going to have one that's a little, I might change the name a little bit when I have time, because I have 2 crazy kids that are at home all the time now because there's no school. So I really don't have a lot of time. As you can see, the kids just went to bed, so I kind of snuck out here to do this. When I have time and I get that up, I'm going to let you guys know where you can go on Facebook, where you can find Big E's Drag Specialties. I'm going to let you know where to find that, where I'm going to be able to monitor it better, so I can get back to people and communicate with people and have better response. If you guys have something, like if you're working on a project and you get stuck, I want to have it where you can go on Facebook and say, hey, I'm going to go on Big E's webpage, or his Facebook page. Hey, I'm having a problem with this. What do you know? And I'll let you know. Either I don't know. And I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to dazzle you with bullshit to makes it sound, hey, if I don't know, I don't know. And if you don't mind, if you give me some time, maybe I can find out and call a couple people that I know who might have an educated answer that I can relay to you to help you out with your project. And that's what I want to do. That was the whole idea for me starting this channel and Big E's Drag Specialties. Was I'm going to tell you, I don't know everything. Anybody who says they know everything is a flat out liar. So I'm just letting you know, I don't know everything. I know some old timers that know a lot, and those guys taught me a lot of stuff, and I'm forever grateful for them. One day I'm going to give a huge shout out to them. Speaking of shout outs, Zilla Chronicles, Latimer 52, I forget what he changed his Facebook fucking page to, but check him out, man. He's got some good thoughts, deep thoughts, shit that's going to keep us straight and out of trouble. Check him out. And that's about all I got for today. So, hey, everybody, stay inside, watch out for each other, and take care of each other. And try not to go crazy out there, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye for now.